Great introduction, and hello to the driving force and the inspiration behind the Dare to Believe program, Roisin McGettigan. You're very welcome back on Sport for Business.
Hi Rob, thanks for having me. It's great to see you again.
It has been a while. We spoke about Dare to Believe and the Tokyo Olympics back in April, and everything was exciting in advance. The kids were getting ready. They were going to do all of their walks. Now we're in the kind of the hangover phase of the Olympics, where we wish it was still on. We enjoyed the Paralympics. Now that's gone as well. But tell me, how did it work out for the kids? Did you manage to inspire them to walk to Tokyo in advance of the Games?
I hope so. Yeah, we launched that Olympic School Challenge as part of the Dare to Believe Olympic School program in the spring there. When I spoke to you, I think it was April or May. And in that time, we didn't really know how many schools would participate, but we had over 600 schools take part. I had over 1,800 teams created from the different schools. And we estimate, on the average class size, about 30 students, that's over 50,000 children taking part in that virtual activity challenge there that you saw the intro for. We got great engagement on the different stops along the way. There was cultural challenges and different challenges for the students to do. And we got great participation, submissions from teachers, and a reviewing of the program was great. We had teachers telling us that their teams were so excited that they did it 2 times over, and they just wanted to keep coming in and logging more activity. So we were really thrilled with the result. We didn't really know, I remember telling you I didn't know how to set our goals because we hadn't done it before. So I think we surpassed anything we could have imagined in that. It really generated such a buzz for the students who took part, and they wrote letters to the athletes going to Tokyo, and they wrote some Japanese words and tried some different dances and tried out different sports. Some of the ambassadors you saw there, like from Sarah Lavin and Anna Flanagan with the hockey, they had PE lessons from those guys as well. So it was really, it was really a lot in the program and the 4-week challenge. So that's great. That's
brilliant. I think one of the goals should be that when we come to maybe Los Angeles or maybe the Games after, that we're going to be in Brisbane, I think, isn't it? That somebody, when they're interviewed on RTE afterwards, says, yeah, look, I was inspired by doing this thing in school, which was Dare to Believe, and really got me thinking about the Olympics. Inspiration is hugely important. What was the inspiration for you that actually led to the creation of this?
Yeah, so I went to the Olympics myself many moons ago at this point in Beijing. And as I was coming back from Beijing, I was processing my own experience, and was I happy, was I sad? I didn't know what to think of my own performance. And when I got back to Wicklow, I was asked to go into schools in my local area, and all of a sudden I was like, it's not about am I happy or sad? It's about giving back to the community and saying, look, sport has brought me all around the world and it's taught me so much, and now it's my chance to kind of be a role model. I never saw myself that way, but now I was kind of in that position, and at times I felt like I wasn't really maximizing my ability when I was standing in front of a whole secondary school, just being told, inspire the children. I'd had so many experiences, but I wasn't prepared to distill them down into teachable moments of that moment. We're not all natural public speakers like the amazing Kelly Harrington, but every Olympian has a story. And, I thought, this is a great way to connect with, the lessons in sport and the resilience you need and striving for excellence and all these Olympic values that are have been there since the foundation of the modern Olympic Games. But, I just thought there was an opportunity there to support other Olympians. We had over 100 Olympians in Tokyo. Every single one of them have had a journey there, and there's a few household names from that, but there's all those stories, and I think there's a lot of potential to people in their local areas to be out there and inspiring and be role models of sport and well-being and exercise. And So I just thought there was a need there, and I'm so glad that we're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's always the same, and we haven't. I don't think maybe this time will be different, but it's always the same that the Olympics comes around every 4 years. Let's say, with this year being the odd exception. But let's look on the positive, and the next one is only 3 years away. But in between times, there's so much else happening in sport. There's so much happening in the individual Olympians' sports themselves, whether they're preparing for Europeans or Worlds. But that doesn't tend to grab the imagination. So the Olympics comes around, we've got 15 days of electric competition across sports that we will never have heard of before or never remember, apart from the previous Olympic Games, and won't probably think about again until the next. Is this a way of actually putting a structure around something that exists beyond the sporting arena, which allows Olympians to actually do that with schools? And like, how many schools have you managed to touch in the course of the program since you started it?
Yeah, so when we started like two years ago, 2.5 years ago at this point, and then of course the COVID year, we we've been to over 100 schools who've done our full core program, which is like a 5-module curriculum, and that the center, the cornerstone of that is still an ambassador visit. But that like program supports the athlete visit. So it's teaching them that, the things you learn through sport, the values you learn through participation in sport are, become life skills, right? That the respect is important, friendship's important, striving for excellence, goal setting, all of those things. And, we do think there has, these things are relevant no matter when the Olympics are on or not, so, it doesn't, the Olympics is the exciting event. It's the cherry on top. And, it's great that it came around, and I'm so glad that Tokyo happened, and it's great that Paris is only 3 years away. But the lessons and all of the takeaways from that are relevant throughout all the years.
Was having the kind of the stamp, the imprimatur of the Olympic Federation of Ireland, Team Ireland, as that you're part of Team Ireland now, was that important in terms of reaching out to headmasters and teachers and the people in the schools who would actually bring you in? Because there's lots of people, even we heard from Emma there, great inspiring stories and ways of actually engaging, but it can sometimes be difficult to actually get through to a headmistress who has she's got 600 kids to look after, she's got teachers to replace, and it's a busy world. So is having the Olympic backing a really key part of that, or do you think could you have done it without that?
No, I think so. I think it just, I think everyone knows the Olympics. It's an important brand in the world, that people know what that means. And, I think the collection of athletes in that, the variety of sports, there's a sport for everybody in that. And I think, when we listen to the teachers and talk to the teachers this year and every year, they're told, we need to prioritize health and well-being. The principals know it, especially through COVID. This is what they were told to focus on. So we thought, look, we can do our part and create this, Olympic school challenge that really helps them address their needs as well. So everything we've released in Dare to Believe so far, and we've always listened to the teachers and made sure it fits. So it's not adding more for them, like you're saying, they're already so busy. It's helping them achieve the strand units that they need to achieve in 5th and 6th class, for example. And we're developing a transition year program at the moment that's been tested. And that's been, we've been working with teachers on that. We've been talking to the Irish Student Union about what they need, how this works for them. So we're not just coming in saying, hey, do our thing. We're listening to what they need to focus on and what they're told to prioritize. And we're finding ways to, match that in and blend that in with, showcasing our Olympians, giving our Olympians experience in public speaking and helping them be effective role models. So we definitely don't want to add more to the craziness that, a lot of teachers are juggling and principals are juggling. And we want to facilitate them. And I think we're very proud to be able to kind of do our part to reverse the statistics that 1/10 of teenagers are getting the exercise that they need, and the girls and boys are dropping out of sport. Like we want to do our part as a organization to like, you know, if the Olympics isn't going to, you know, take a kind of a role in that, I think it's really important that we do that.
The school side of it is really important, but as we said, it's very busy. Have you extended it at all? Have sporting organizations, we've got plenty in the room today, have they come to you to look at it? Like, I know, you know, it'd be a tough reach, all right, until we get hurling and football into the Olympics. Maybe the link will be a little bit tenuous there, but but you know, cycling clubs that are attracting kids that will have, you know, some of those, whether it be Eve McChrystal from the Paralympics or any of those that excelled in Tokyo, swimming, athletics, lots of clubs, lots of camps, and getting kids involved. Is there a part for Dare to Believe within that structure as well?
I'd hope so. And I think, you know, as one of the elements we're developing in the transition year program is to bring in some of the other supporting bodies and say, hey, like, let's work together on getting transition years into clubs, trying out sports, getting them to kind of really get involved. And you know, definitely want to do that. And, you know, even we had Gymnastics Ireland reach out to us and say, hey, can we use your Olympic School Challenge and use it around our clubs in the springtime there, because, you know, during lockdown and stuff, there was still restrictions. And yeah, we're definitely open to working with all the different sports. To say we've got 25 ambassadors and from like a variety of sports. So it's something that we really want to do and work on and collaborate further in the future for sure.
Great. That doesn't surprise me about gymnastics at all. I think that they're way ahead of the game in terms of what they're doing around the kids. And obviously it's filtering through with the different programs going all the way up to the elite player pathway, the gymnast pathway, it should, as I should say.
And we know there's other great programs out there as well, like the rowing, you know, and athletics, and they all have, like, there's different programs going on. So we want to support them and point to them, and if any way that can work into our program, that we can, you know, collaborate.
Yeah, and especially when we've had an Olympian, like canoeing, you know, you've got groups of kids going out and paddling. We saw Pat O'Leary in the Paralympics, but we saw Liam Jegu, who was the first Olympian of this cycle to actually secure his place, as I remember. How long of a break do you give the athletes after their games performance and their decompression before a little email pings in from row run, so they're asking them to, okay, it's time now to think about doing a little giving back? Yeah.
So, you know, we have our, you know, established 25 ambassadors, and we just started, you know, how's the break going? Are you guys ready? It's September, schools are open, and just getting a sense of where people are at with that. And then we are hoping to open up to, you know, all the Olympians coming back from Tokyo and kind of checking in and say, hey, who wants to be involved with this now? Because, you know, you've had this incredible experience, and we want to give them an opportunity to, you know, to again, you know, do something for their community. And I think that's an important part of being a role model and the commitment to the community like that. And I'm always blown away when we opened up the first registration, hey, who wants to be involved in this program? And we got like inundated from all the high performance athletes, and it's actually hard to kind of like cap the amount of people we can take in. So it just shows like how many of the athletes want to do more and want to give back to their community that way. So as many as we can support, we'll continue to do that and take in as many as we can.
Okay, just before I let you go back to managing exactly that, are there a couple of stories that stand out from the road to Tokyo that you became aware of that you can share with us?
So, you know, besides the teachers, like, you know, they're getting so competitive here. Like they're trying to, they want to do it back and forth again. We got like so many brilliant letters to the ambassadors from children all over the country, that were just hilarious and beautiful. And it was just really, really nice engagement. And I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff on the Olympic Federation's like social media platforms, but they have like, we've got some little recap videos there, and we're going to make a full recap and share that in the coming weeks. So there's some really nice things in there.
Great. Well, it was brilliant in the run up to Tokyo, and the run up to Paris has already started. Great that you're on board and so enthusiastic, because these are the dreams that we remember. We all have our Olympic moments from childhood that we cling to and that we still remember. And it doesn't have to be about the winning. It's about all of those values, as you say. And great job on doing that. So